really powerful. And one of the things you kind of brought up is when your family first got involved in iTrip, it wasn't actually a franchise, but today, it's a very explosive franchise with, I think over 100 franchisees at this point. So can you walk us through when you first made that initial decision? What was kind of iTrip like at that point to where it is today? And, talk about how when you first made that decision, or your father and your family did, how, it really wasn't much bigger risk without it really being a franchise to kind of where it is today and having those systems in place, and really how we'll kind of limit that risk level so that if you are considering business ownership, but you don't have that strong risk tolerance, we'll educate you every step of the way so that you can see what that opportunity looks like. So can you kind of just walk us through iTrip from when you made that first decision to if someone has to make that decision today, and kind of how different that is?
Yeah, yeah, really good point. So yeah, starting as a software licensure model. So you've got the software itself, or at least in our case, we had the software itself. We
Hmm.
had the brand that we could build on, which the brand's been through three iterations at this point in terms of logos and and whatnot. So that's interesting. It always changes. So you had the software, the logo, and then some processes on going out in what the actual work is that you do, property management in our case. So they had some general guidelines, but there was a lot more learning as you go back in the day versus now, where all of the processes have been thought out. There's been best practices that we've been able to implement basically in every corner of the business. Is one of the biggest benefits that the franchise offers. There was zero training when we started either. So again,
Yeah.
it's an emerging business, so things are changing a lot, and nobody really knows a lot about it. So that's part of it. But now we've got a unbelievable training program. We've got a two-part training program, one in the market, so in-market training, and then we have another software and operational training in Nashville too. So we just didn't have that when we started as a software licensure model, but that's what you get when you
Yeah.
go to the franchise model, and we made that switch. So there's just the level of support is by far and away a lot different. And I think that's really what people were looking for.
Yeah, that's really powerful. And kind of, when someone thinks about if they want to be in business for themselves or think about franchising, it's really just the matter of, you're welcome to do that, but you're going to be kind of out positioned, out resourced. And, my father on, episode 3 really brought up, when you start a business, it's kind of like you put your name on something, but it's like, where are the customers going to come from? What does the market look like? You're really playing a guessing game with everything. And kind of goes back to how we started the conversation with AI. If you're not kind of best in your department in the marketing and the sales, having the best product, having the best employees, everyone needs to be the best in every department, or someone else is going to be fighting to get that position. So I think it's just so powerful in franchising, having that track record of success, evaluating people in similar markets is just so powerful. And as we kind of talk about your family being in franchising, owning an iTrip for 14, 15 years, can you talk about, kind of, everyone's curious about the life